5-0. The New York Mets beat the Washington Nationals. David Stearns turns in his complete game shutout. 2 home runs from Brandon Nimmo. Soto coming up with another big home run. 4 home runs, Dan, over his last 4 home games. Lindor, he had the double. You're going up and down the lineup. Alonso, 1 for 2 with a walk, an RBI, so on and so forth. Not much from Beatty, Jared Young, Terrence, or Mauricio, who went out with an injury. But let's listen to David Peterson really quick, courtesy of SNY. Oh, they got him in. Steve Gells with the water again.
Love it. Love it. Hope everybody's doing well. Let's have a good night. Come on. Mets win.
What a game for this team. We saw some really nice moments in the handshake line to not just your pitching coaches, but of course to your manager, Carlos Mendoza. A lot of managers who probably want to take you out. Great. What did it mean to you when he said, hey, go out there and go get it? Yeah. What did you do so well tonight? We saw the ground balls, your ground ball machine. How were you able to limit your pitch count and be as efficient as you were? Yeah. Get ahead and get the ground balls, trust my defense. This is as much as it is mine. So, yeah. Finally, David, see everybody standing up here.
Packed house, man.
Let's go, baby.
You hear it. Is that the experience with them? It's incredible. You get to bring it all year.
And that's the post-game comments from David Peterson, who allows the bullpen to get another rest day. After being off just a couple days ago, you got the game tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock, Dan. Get this sweep, and then we welcome Tampa Bay in. But overall, how could you not love tonight's win? How can you not love this team in general?
Wow. Second complete game in David Peterson's career. We've seen the rise and fall of his career. It's unbelievable. What a performance. Everything was working. You had the defense behind him too. Taylor, what a play at the end of that game. Rifle of an arm. So you love to see that. Nimmo, too. Let's go, Nimmo. Hey, little round of applause for our guy, Brandon Nimmo, out here on Metcast. That's what's up. 2 home runs, one going to left field, the other going to right field. And then Soto, back-to-back games with a home run. He's really hitting his stride. So let's go, Mets. McNeil had a single, too. I definitely see him heating up. But, yeah, unbelievable. Big win.
Yeah, and you know what? Preserving the bullpen, and we have some big series coming up. You saw Philly whopped up today. They won, so keeping pace in the division, which is so important, keeping that momentum. Now, I believe that's the current records. The New York Mets are 43-24. If they win tomorrow, they are 20 games over 500
today.
On June 12th.
Today. They're 24.
Today?
Yeah.
That's not updated. Okay. So, wow. Yeah. I mean, June 11th, 20 games over 500 when you're looking at this division. And what's great about this is, Dan, they're doing it all without their proverbial ace, but I think it's clear as day. David Peterson is developing into an ace right in front of our eyes. Him, Kodai Senga, Sean Manaea, maybe when the deadline hits, the Mets won't need to go out and acquire that mega superstar arm.
Yeah, and the thing about Peterson, too, when he was at Oregon, I've even talked to people, too, in comments under my post saying I faced David Peterson because over the summer he was training. Anyone who remembers, he had his tennis friends hit him with tennis balls, and he would, field them as a fielder, and it was good for his pitching, like motion and fielding off the mound. We saw that. So today, he really put it all together. This is David Peterson that we've been talking about. This is what we've waited for. And here he is right before our eyes. ace level stuff. Seriously, he's going to make a bag in free agency if he keeps pitching like this, but he always had the velocity. He's toned it back a little bit. He's able to nibble at the corners. His slider is his best pitch, and it continues to be, and he's unhittable.
Goes to show you don't have to throw 98 to be effective. I almost feel like the better pitchers in baseball, though Peterson, if he wanted to, he could throw 96, 97. We've seen him do that in the past.
He's doing that in college. Yeah, I forget.
Baseball's kind of coming back to the point where secondary pitches matter so much. And that's why I'm so excited for a guy like Nolan McLean with that 70 sweeper, because the Major League Baseball hitters hit that straight fastball. And one thing I want to point out that I think is clear as day, Juan Soto is here. He is ready. He is going to be the guy in this lineup. No doubt in my mind. I know what Pete has done early on this season, but we saw that anonymous players poll come out earlier today, and they were naming all of the hitters they wouldn't want to see in order. And Soto was number one, and it was like 70% of the people polled said they wouldn't want to face Juan Soto over Shohei Ohtani, over guys like Aaron Judge.
Definitely. Yeah, Freddie Freeman was 5th on that list. The Athletic conducted a poll going back from 23, or, they did over like a long time period. They did a good job with that. So shout out to them. And listen, Juan Soto is the last player you want to face because he has the eye. We've seen that. The walks are off the charts. Everything is live up to that. When he was struggling, we were sitting here saying he's still drawing his walks. Like, even if it's not the home run swing that we're seeing, it's still Juan Soto. So that hasn't left his game. The power's still there. They talked about it on the broadcast today. The home run he had yesterday, probably not a home run at Yankee Stadium. Let's be honest, to left field. The one in right field today, no doubt. But it's all good. It's all good. So everything's clicking for the Mets. And, before too long, you look up and we're in the World Series.
That's the plan. Our friend John Harper tweeted out something pretty cool about seeing somebody throw a 9-inning shutout these days. Rare as they are, was obvious how much it meant to Peterson, and the crowd was into it. Peterson's ERA is down to 2.49, and quite simply, he is one of the best lefty starters in MLB at this point. I mean, we're watching him develop from the 22nd overall pick, I believe it was, out of Oregon in the first round. People were worried he's going to be a bust. He hasn't been that good throughout his career, but something clicked midway towards the end of last season. It's carried into this year. I want to get to a couple of comments before we continue our commentary. Nelson, what's going on? Good evening, fellas. D says, wow. Andre, best record in baseball. Stanley says, what a performance by Peterson. I agree. D, guys, this was special. Tyrone Taylor's growing on me with that play. I'll tell you this, and I've always said this, I'm fine having Tyrone Taylor in the lineup as long as Luis Angel Acuna is not an everyday player. If you have a bat at third and a bat at second, which Beatty, let's be honest, has completely cooled off. He is crazy cooled off. His average is down to 221 right now, and his OPS is a 685. He's cooled off. Torrens is cooled off. The bottom half of that lineup has. But if they get guys up here that can hit baseball average, I'm totally fine with Tyrone Taylor. He patrols the center field as good as anybody in baseball, and he showed us time and time again. He doesn't only have a cannon of an arm. He is deadly accurate, Dan.
Yeah, and this is a guy that you look at and you say he's a perfect fourth outfielder, but when you need him to be the center fielder, he's perfectly fine. And on a night like this, when McNeil played it, you saw towards the end of that game, like, it was a short hop and it kind of caught him by surprise. And maybe the Mets saw that and said, all right, we wanted to get McNeil off his feet anyway. Maybe that was the final decision for them to get Taylor in the game, and it made a lot of sense. And that's the reason why you have him, and it's good. Now, I was shocked a little bit that they're still playing McNeil out there. I still like the idea, but a lot of people always push back on that from the beginning. And, it's fine. I think it's good for what it is, but I still like Acuna out there, and we've seen the reports. We've seen Mendy talk about it. We've seen Acuna out there sporadically, but really not at all. So I don't know what the plan is with that moving forward, but I do want to make a note of that because McNeil was out there. Taylor comes in, makes a stellar play, and yeah, that's everything you could expect from Tyrone Taylor, and then some.
That's right. And You had that, he's got a little bit of a bat too. Nothing crazy, but he's been okay. And that's where you look at that. Remember, he was supposed to be that fourth outfielder defensive replacement. My guess is the Mets aren't totally comfortable with Acuna out in center field, because otherwise it doesn't make any sense. He's the fastest guy on the team, probably can cover. Some guys struggle to fully grasp center field. The ball's spinning off the bat in both directions. It's not the easiest of positions. Andre says they are 44-24. Absolutely the best record. Two. Jamie says, let's go Mets. George D. Stanley, what a game. Let's effing go Mets as always. Emmanuel checks in. Let's go Mets. Absolutely a lot of that. Let's go Mets.
Well,
a
Mets
lot
guys,
of people, man. Jamie says,
Go.
what a gem by Peterson. He's been good all year long. 2.5 ERA. You ride that throughout the year. Manaya's coming back shortly. Very exciting, man. You just can't. Oh, shout out. How about this too, Dan? Your boy, who you love so much, Jet Williams, going deep twice tonight down in the minor leagues. He is pushing the envelope, and maybe, just maybe, he's an injury away, or he just forces himself on this team. He's playing that good.
Yeah. No, he is. And I can't ignore it. Jet Williams, definitely someone we're all looking at, circling Drew Gilbert, circling Ryan Clifford, circling for next year, Jonah Tong for next year. But definitely this year, yeah, Jet Williams is someone that, you're just waiting for the next shoe to drop. As unfortunate as that is, it's just kind of how we live sometimes as Mets fans. But no one expected Vientos to go down, right? And no one expected Lindor to miss a game or two with a broken toe. It's like, come on. So things flare up, things pop up. But the Mets are well built, and this is a really well built team from Marte all the way up to Juan Soto. It's built for the long haul.
Jamie says every game someone steps up. This team is a must-see. I cannot agree more. And I want to protect ourselves here. Tomorrow, we got to come out. We got to battle. I know it's a day game. You figure we already took this series. I don't want to see any of that. I want to take this in a full sweep. Bury Washington in the standings. Their season will be over before you know it. That's how I look at that. Emmanuel says Beatty needs to go. Look, I will say this. I know he hasn't been hitting as of late. I'm glad to see the Mets are giving him an extended run, because having him play, not play, in the back of your mind, there's always that something where it's like, well, what if they consistently play him, Dan, and give him that shot? They're doing that right now. This is your shot, Beatty, because let's be honest, the next time you go down, you're not going to come up a New York Met. That's going to be it. You're going to be traded somewhere else, because the Mets are not going to risk bringing you up here and then being stuck with you and not having any value. That's just how it's going to be.
Yeah, that's it. And Beatty's producing, somewhat, nothing really to the extent that we saw a couple of weeks ago, right? And now he's definitely cooled down. The swings, just the getting fooled on a lot of off speed. It's definitely a part of his game. His swing rate is up. Everything that you look at that normally you would expect to have the stats behind it, again, it's not for Beatty. So yeah, I don't know, with Mauricio now, the emergence of him, and it's a lot. They moved Beatty around a lot tonight. They put him at second. They put him at, I think, at third a little bit. So we'll see.
With Beatty's 0 for 3 tonight, he is 4 for his last 33. He's got a sub 400 OPS in the month of June. He's hitting just over 100.
It's not good at all.
Barely over 100. It's so wild, because you look, the month of May, that's why you can't give up on a guy like that. The month of May, 290 average, 914 OPS. You can't give up on him. That's what young players do. We're winning in spite of that. If he gets hot and actually figures it out, I mean, we've seen the tool. How many times have we seen the tool? It is there. It's a matter of fact of putting things together. Elvin says, hashtag Beatty stays. KG, best record again. Absolutely. And I'm excited to get play some of the better teams, the Braves, the Phillies. I think baseball really screwed it up this year when it comes to in-division play, having teams play each other less and less. Unfortunately, it's less fortunate. You want to create those rivalries, and instead of playing 18 times, they're playing, what, 16 or 13, something like
13,
that?
yeah.
13 times instead of 18 times. It kind of stinks when you're thinking about it. I know you want to see everybody, but how many Mets fans are craving to go watch the Athletics come into town, or the Seattle Mariners, or the Los Angeles Angels? You're just not. Nobody's craving that. Nobody's craving anybody from the AL Central. Even when Houston comes into town, nobody's looking forward to that either. MLB really needs to get back to this interdivision play. It drives ticket sales too. Let's be honest.
It does. It does. And usually the appeal for it was, you can only see Ohtani, once every, 4 years or whatever, whenever he comes to Citi Field or whatever. It's like, it's that. I'm glad that's out of the game. Interleague is just, I don't know. I'm right with you, right? I want to play the Phillies more. I want to play the Braves more. It stinks that we're playing the Braves after we play the Rays, that we play them for the first time all year. It's the middle of June.
It's insane, Dan. It's absolutely insane. I mean, it's the battle for the division, not the battle for MLB. You're supposed to have the best team come out of your division, which means you play the most against one another. Klub says, can't stop these Mets. D says, Jet is tearing it up. I agree, man. He is right on the precipice of coming up here. Andre says, not really sold on Clifford. Really needs to cut down on the strikeouts. Remember, he's 21 years old. He's got time. He's a kid. A lot of times when you see these guys come up with that much raw power in the system, usually they tend to, they tend to have a higher whiff rate. That's what it is. Jet Williams is currently playing in Double A Binghamton, which I know there's a step to go with Triple A, but his eye's going to translate. He just has an amazing eye at the plate. That's how I look at that.
Yeah, and that's something you can't really teach, right? You can't teach the eye. You can't teach the ojos. You can't teach the strike zone. Discipline is something that a lot of players deal with. Going back to a guy like Ryan Clifford, right? Too many strikeouts. You need to cut that down. So, throughout the system, but I look at it too. Like, we always sit here and say, oh, the Mets have to be playing bad for these prospects to be called up. And I do live by that. I practice what I preach most of the time, except in this, like with a Brandon Sproat, makes a lot of sense. You're not going to call up a pitcher if everyone's rolling in the rotation. But for Jet Williams, maybe calling him up is the extra spark that this team needs to keep going. Like, you never know. So the fiery, nature of Williams' game, it could make a lot of sense.
So we have Ray Rivera says, let's go Mets, no mercy, break out the brooms. Madeline checks in, let's effing go Mets. Some of the better teams, the Braves, ha, ha, ha. Yeah, I get it, Chris. Look, at the end of the day, Vegas had them probably better than us coming into the year, or right there with us. I don't know what's going on with the Braves. Are they
Season's
playing
over
tonight right now?
Their season.
So they beat Milwaukee today. So everybody won today.
Yep. Tigers lost, though, which makes the Mets have the best record in baseball, though, officially.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about the best. I mean, that would only matter what, in the World Series?
Yeah. Mets, Tigers,
Dan
World
says,
Series.
is it a coincidence that these pitchers pitches this well with Torrens? They do the same thing with Alvarez. Remember that whole thing that we had last year? Pitchers only wanted to pitch to Alvarez. He was so much better. I just think that overall, this organization just has a better grasp. David Stearns knows pitching. Hefner knows pitching. There's a reason why he stuck through 3 regimes, and you're seeing what they could do. Peterson's final line tonight: 9 innings pitched, 6 hits, 0 runs, 0 walks, and 6 Ks. That is the key, the 0 walks, Dan.
That's the Metcast, Todd Zeal of approval. He just gave out his on the post game. We're going to give out ours here. Yeah, David Peterson, 100%. And think about what we all witnessed tonight, too. There's a good chance we don't witness another night like this again. Knock on wood, I hope we do, for the sake of baseball. Don't get me wrong. But, I'm living in a time watching baseball now and growing up in a world of baseball where complete games don't happen, and complete game shutouts especially don't happen. And I just think about, Tom Seaver, Nolan Ryan, all these great pitchers that came before our time. And it's like complete games were normal to them and complete game shutouts were seemingly normal to them. I forget who it was. It might have been Koufax. 87 complete games and about 32 of them were shutouts. SNY threw a stat up like that. One of these past couple games might have been Kovacs. But again, think about that. Doesn't really happen. And when it did, it was only the great pitchers. And nowadays, we've talked about it too. You combine Zach Wheeler and Jacob deGrom's complete game numbers in their history, in their careers. It's like not even 10. I don't even think they get to like 8. It might be so it's definitely a different game. So it's good on a night like this to get a complete game from David Peterson and appreciate a complete game shutout from David Peterson.
I agree. Final thoughts before we call it a night, Dan.
Is that it? Do we have any? Yeah, there's a lot of good comments tonight. Good night.
A lot of good comments. I got to be up very early for
all
work.
Good. Same here. Yeah, David Peterson. That's the name of the game tonight, and shout out to him.
Yep, that's how it is. Break out the brooms tomorrow. No excuses. You have a reeling Washington team, 30-38. Let's be honest. They might have the juice tomorrow. They are fighting for their NL East lives. The division's probably out of reach at this point. We're talking about 14 games or so, right around there. They're right there with Miami, but the Braves are also right there with them. So finish them off. Tampa Bay, a team that we're going to have to not take so lightly, as I believe they're still second in the AL. They're trying to lose, but as always, the Rays are the Rays. They battle. They do what they got to do. We appreciate you guys. If you're enjoying this content, give us a thumbs up. We are running a ticket giveaway over on Instagram. So if you want an opportunity to win 2 tickets to this Friday night's game, head on over to Instagram. Same as everywhere, at MetcastPod. We are running it with our friend James from Mets Coverage. All the details are over there. Give us a follow. Give us a thumbs up. And let's get this sweet tomorrow. Keep the good vibes.
Lock in. Happy Thursday tomorrow, everybody.
That's right. As always, everybody, let's go
Mets. Let's go.